All right, so welcome to your first selections meeting. How was today? Yeah? Are you like so tired? I think that means you did it right, so I don't think it's a bad thing. Alrighty, so we're gonna go through a couple things. So first things first, I'm the realist. No, I'm kidding. Put your bags on the ground, phones in them, please, because this stuff is real important. I want you to make sure. I know it's so tempting to have your phone out. Look, I'm like a teacher. Okay, so, and then we'll do phones in a minute because you're gonna need it to make your selections. Okay, so some selections info first. These are your nightly meetings. You're gonna come in here every night now, and you're gonna sit in this same place. So know where your group is sitting. You're always gonna sit with your walking groups. So even though your walking groups are no more today, you still get to see your walking group leaders, so that's pretty exciting. So, I know. How about we give them a round of applause, right? Yeah. It is real hot out there, so they did a great job. Okay, so a couple of things for these meetings. First off, can we do the first slide, Katie? Thanks. First off, it's important to really listen. We're gonna go over some important stuff, and a lot of these things, once you do it, you can't take it back, which sounds really dramatic, and that's okay, but we're gonna explain everything. So as long as you're paying attention, we're gonna be fine. I just wanna make sure that everyone knows what they're doing before they do it. So make sure we're listening. Also, like I had you put your phones on the ground, we'll do the phones later, so just make sure you're not on your phones during this. If you have any questions, raise your hand. There are no dumb questions, I promise. And I'm like the least judgy person that ever lived, so I'm not gonna judge you if you have questions. And if you have it, I'm sure there's like 50 other people in this room that have the same question. So you can raise your hand and ask. And then lastly, relax. Like you're done for the day, which is really nice. So now you get to relax, go take a shower, because it's smelling some type of way in here. I mean, me too, so it's fine. So yeah, so that's exciting. Okay, so a couple of other things to know. It's important to provide mutual respect. You want the chapters to respect you, right? Everybody wants to be treated with dignity and respect. That's what we all deserve. So we need to make sure that we're doing that. So if a chapter is treating you in a way that you think is not fair, you need to come let me know. And that's okay to do. You can come find me in the office or in Tarman Social Lounge, first floor of Adams Center. You can always come talk. And then on the flip side, we need to be providing our chapters with respect as well. That means no negative talk. You never know who's around. Even if if your row gamers haven't told you what chapter they're in or whatever. We've got exec team, we've got alums around, we've got parents who are alums around. So really make sure that we are not having any negative talk, that we're being kind and respectful and treated the way that we want to be treated. So make sure that we're doing that this week. That's really important. Keep discussion positive, kind of on the same ticket as that. But if you have something bad to say, like our moms always said, don't say it at all. So make sure that we're being positive. I know it's hard, especially when it's like hot and we're tired and we're hungry, we're hangry. We're just ready to like be done for the day. So try to stay positive. It makes the experience a lot more fun. And know that recruitment is a mutual selection process, like we talked about down at Lloyd Noble at that big meeting. Chapters are going to be making their selections right after you guys do. So no one knows whose selections are whose. They're not going to see, you're not going to see theirs, and then the system tonight will match everything up. So it's pretty simple, and we're going to go through what that looks like. You'll make your selections, they'll do theirs, and then that's kind of how it works. So it's not super difficult. And then lastly, it's important to maximize your options. You're going to hear this a lot this week. That means that we want you to maximize, make the most of your experience. If you went to 11 chapters, tomorrow is a maximum of 8. So you're going to be selecting a maximum of 8 chapters for tomorrow and regretting 3, which we're going to talk about what that means. So make sure that we're maximizing. That's how we ensure that you have an awesome experience. And at the end of the day, you never know. Even if you talk to somebody in a chapter today that you didn't necessarily jive with, I mean, our chapters have 300 people in them. So how many people did you talk to in each chapter? Like 1 or 2? You get to meet lots of more people, which is really exciting. So keep that in mind. And the last big thing to know is understand that not everyone is guaranteed a bid for tomorrow, a invitation back to a party tomorrow. So I think it's important to know that that possibility is there. If that is something that does happen, I'll be coming to your room early in the morning, so I'll let you know as soon as I possibly can, but just know that not everyone is guaranteed an invitation tomorrow. Some other things, you must visit all parties. I can't remember what that, oh, we'll talk about that in a second. But you must visit all parties that you are invited back to. That is the only way that you are able to remain in the process. So you can't pick and choose. There's no picking and choosing. We are going to all parties that we are invited back to. And in the morning, your hall recruitment guides are going to give you your schedule, and it's going to tell you exactly where you need to be at exactly what time. So if you don't know how to get there, don't stress. We have recruitment guides stationed everywhere. Who knows, there might even be like a floaty little kid pool they're in. They'll be on like every street corner, ready to help you. So don't stress about getting lost. It's going to be totally fine. But you'll know exactly where you need to be in the morning once those lists are distributed. Let's do that Bill of Rights slide. So there are a lot of things that as a potential new member you have when it comes to the Bill of Rights. You have the right to be treated as an individual, to be fully informed about the process, which is what these meetings are for, to really let you know about what's going on. To ask questions and receive true and objective answers, to be treated with respect, like we talked about. You deserve that. To be treated as capable and a mature human without being patronized, to ask how and why and receive straight answers, to have and express opinions to recruitment guides, that's why they're there. But make sure that those opinions are respectful in nature, that's what we want. To have confidential information when sharing with recruitment guides. Make informed decisions without pressure from others. That's the nice thing about recruitment. No one is ever going to pressure you from our team. And chapters should not be doing that either. So if they are messaging you or reaching out to you, that is against our policy, against our national policy. There should be no contact outside of scheduled parties. So if that's happening, we know it makes you uncomfortable, and we can reach out to the chapters and let them know that they should not be doing that. Some other rights, make one's own choice and decision and accept full responsibility for the results of that decision. And then lastly, which I think is the most important one, to have a positive, safe, and enriching recruitment and new member experience. That's what we want at the end of this. We want you to have a safe, enriching, awesome experience. And so this is the way that we get to do that. So now it is time to learn how to make selections. So actually, before we do this, let's have recruitment guides pass out the blue cards. So you're gonna get a selection card. You're gonna get this every night from your recruitment guides. And it'll make it really easy starting tomorrow if you're not sitting in alphabetical order to stay in that way. So when you come in here tomorrow, try to sit in the order that you walked in on round one for alphabetical order. So we'll pass those out and then we'll keep going. So let's go ahead and talk about what is next. Some things to know. Don't necessarily need your phone right at this second, but you're gonna log in and you're gonna make your selections, and then you're not going to submit them quite yet. You're gonna make sure that they are correct. Show your row gamma. Make sure that is what you want. You're gonna double verify with her. That's what we talked about, double, triple check. You're gonna double verify with her. You're gonna hit submit. Your row gamma is gonna make sure that there's a green bar that says changes saved, or save changes, I don't know, one of those things. So it'll be a green bar. And then she's gonna initial your blue card and you're gonna sign where it says round one, because this is round one. Any questions about that? Super easy, yes. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, good question. Okay, so once you do that, congrats. You made it through round one. You made your selections. Like I said, chapters are doing the same. And then tomorrow morning, your recruitment guides on your halls are gonna pass out your schedule. So on your schedule tomorrow, should you receive one from your recruitment guide, it will say a time and exactly where you need to be. And you need to follow that schedule to a T. We do not deviate from our schedule. That's how we keep everybody moving. We got 1,100 people we gotta keep moving, right? So that's how that works. So you're gonna follow that to a T, and then tomorrow night, you're gonna come back here in these groups and you're gonna do it all again. So make sure you take some notes, make sure you feel good about what's going on, ask questions, and then you're gonna do selections again tomorrow. So take out your phones, it's time. If you don't have a smartphone, or if your phone is dead, or if you can't get on the internet, you need to go to the back. They are gonna help you back there. Awesome student life staff is gonna help you out and they'll direct you once you get to the back. We know it's been a long day, your phone might be dead, no worries. Okay, now that everybody's back there, everybody's sitting down. You are gonna click on your internet browser, Safari, I don't know what the Chrome, I don't know what the Android version is. And you're gonna type this in, manage, MANAGE .ICS recruiter, RECRUITER.com. I know you guys can spell, you're in college, but I'm still gonna spell it for you. Manage.ICSrecruiter.com. Once you get there, your screen's gonna look like the screenshot up there on the board. It's gonna have a login, password, login type. Anybody not there? Oh, you guys are so good. Okay, so you're gonna type in, well actually before we do this, double check your blue card, double, triple check, make sure it says your name and that your name is correct on the blue card. If it is, you're gonna type in the username and password that's on that label on the top, where it says username, password, and then you're gonna pick the login type as sorority. Okay, so once you're there, Katie, will you go to the next screen? Thank you. Once you're there, your screen should look like this. It's gonna say your name at the top, and if your login doesn't work, no biggie. Sometimes the logins get a little messed up. You're just gonna go to the back, totally okay. At the top, it's gonna say open round, selections open, all this stuff. And then in the middle, you're gonna see all the parties that you went to over the last 2 days. There'll be 11 chapters listed because we have 11 MPC chapters on our campus, and you went to all of them. So they will say available 11. You are gonna drag and drop. You're gonna drag the top 8 that you most enjoyed going to the top. Those are the chapters that you would love to receive an invitation back to tomorrow. So your screen's gonna look like that. You're gonna drag and drop them to the top. You're gonna maximize your options, all 8. Then, order does not matter. That's a great question, whoever asked that. Order for the top 8 does not matter. The system reads them all as 1. Order does not matter for the top 8. The bottom 3, these are the chapters, like it says, you would like to regret. These are the chapters that you maybe went to, maybe talked to some girls, didn't feel most at home there. Not a big deal. But these are the chapters that you would like to release from your list. The ranking on the bottom 3 where it says rank matters tremendously. You need to rank them in rank order, 1, 2, 3, and these are the order that you would most like to receive an invitation. So, if you are not asked back to one of your top 8, they're gonna come back on your schedule in this order should the bottom 3 invite you back. So, number 1 is the one that you are regretting, but if they come back on your schedule, the one that you would most like to come back on first. Does that make sense? Yes, question?
Okay, so I have it all written all down in my notes on my phone. Can I get out of the Safari and look back on it and then it'll still be up?
Yeah, she asked if she has notes. No need to talk right now. No need to talk. Very important that you listen. She asked if she has notes on her phone. Can she exit out and come back in? Yes. Just click back on your internet browser. You can go check it out. Think about it. Make sure your decision is what you want. And then you are going to verify that with your recruitment guide by holding your blue card up in the air once you're ready. And she's going to come by and help you out. Once you have verified with your recruitment guide, then you can hit save and she's going to make sure it has a green bar she's going to initial. You are going to sign on the round 1 line. Good questions. You just won't leave the room with your blue cards. Your regular might pick them all up at the end together so they stay in order. We like logistics around here. If you were one of our friends in the back who had some issues, make sure you come back to your seat after you've made your selection and bring your blue card with you. You're going to come back to your seat.
When it says your selections are saved, is that submitted?
Yes, once it says your selections are saved, that means that they are submitted to the system. And you have finished round 1. Whoop, whoop. And then once you're done, your screen should look like the screenshot up there, the green bar. Change it, your selections are saved. That means that they are in the system and chapters are ready to make their selections. Yeah, once you're done, the middle section where they all 11 were should be empty. That means that you have maximized your options. Okay, so a couple last minute things for tomorrow. 1, it's important to know that like you all have your own schedules tomorrow, so do chapters. So don't be freaked out if you're walking by a chapter and they're not having a party at that time. We give chapters breaks just like we give you breaks, because it's a lot. They're recruiting a lot of people and they need breaks too, so do not be stressed about that. A couple other reminders. Don't be videoing chapters while they're doing their songs. The songs will continue tomorrow. They're fun, they're catchy, but live in the moment. You don't need to video that. We want to make sure that you're being respectful and having your phones away while you're at the chapter facility, inside or out. So if you're going to take some notes, do it while you're walking. I mean, pay attention when you're crossing the street and stuff, but take some notes after. And another big thing tomorrow, and your recruitment guides that are stationed outside the chapter houses will tell you this, but you know how we stuck around to watch the end of the song like we did this last round? Let's do that again for round 2. They worked really hard on that. It's fun for them to get to see you all wave back and say goodbye. So if you don't have to trek and haul, all the way to the other end of the side of the campus, try to stay and watch the song. If you have to get all the way from north to south in like 10 minutes, they understand. But they just want the whole, we don't want the whole group leaving and not watching something that the chapters have done, because there's nothing more awkward than singing to like a group of like 2. So don't be those people. So stay around for that. Make sure, this is a big one. So we are a campus that does an affiliated recruitment guide program. So if you have asked your recruitment guide what chapter she's in and she has told you, that's her decision. We want to respect that decision, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what chapter she's in. She's on Team Panhellenic this week. She's on your team. So at the end of the day, like I said, totally up to her, totally up to you all to ask. You don't have to ask. A lot of people don't want to know. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. Because like we said, your experience is yours, her experience is hers. They're both valid, but they don't impact each other. So don't worry about that. I do want to mention this because if you've asked her and she tells you, you need to leave it at that, right? We don't need to pry. We don't need to act like she's some secret informant for her chapter, because she's not. Our recruitment guides have stepped away from their chapter this week. So even though they are members and they are active and love in life as Panhellenic women, they're not in contact with their chapters this week, so they don't know anything. So if you're asking them for the inside scoop, like, they don't have it. So don't keep prying, because it's frustrating to them, because they want to focus on you. They don't want you to focus on them. They're servant leaders. They are here for you this week. So remember that. If you want to ask them and if they want to tell you, don't pry, because it's not fun for anyone. It's just really awkward. So that's a big reminder. And then lastly, tomorrow, tonight you have your hall meeting at 9, so you got a little bit of time to go relax, take a shower if you want, get some rest. You want to get lots of rest tonight. It's looking like we're going to have some storms tomorrow. I know, so fun. So what that looks like, so that we're all on the same page now. If it's raining, we're going to carry on. If it's just rain, we are going to keep going, because we got a tight schedule, right? We got stuff to do, places to be, and we are strong, independent women, and we can handle some rain. We're going to be fine. So bring an umbrella, bring a change of shoes, whatever you need to do. Recruitment guides are going to try to keep you as dry as possible if it is raining while you're walking into a chapter house. But it's important to know, if your hair gets wet, it is okay. I know it's not fun, and we might all be looking a little raggedy, but it's okay. Don't stress about it. So if you're wet, I'm sure there's a ton of other wet people out there, and the chapters care about you, right? They care about your personality. They care about what you're going to bring. They don't care what your hair looks like. That is not what they remember. So do not stress about that. Yeah, and I will say if it's lightning, that is when we have to halt. So if there is storms that bring lightning or any other kind of like dangerous scenario, then in the chapter houses, they'll tell you what to do. One group, you all, the P&Ms, will go to one area, chapter members will go to another, and sometimes they'll put on like videos or, I don't know, put on a movie or something, because sometimes it can take a minute for the storm to pass. But as soon as it is safe, we will go. So if your row gamma tells you something, know that that is the same thing as me telling you something. We are communicating through GroupMe to them, and then they will communicate to you. So respect them, respect what they have to say because it's important. And if there's storms, we will deal with that. So tomorrow, you guys will, you'll meet first and then eat second. We just rotate, Boomer and Sooner. So that's good. The only other thing before you go, make sure you get some rest, drink lots of water. Do we have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the storm carries on into your next party, what do you do?
Good question. If the storm carries on to the next party, what do? We'll reschedule what we need to. You'll still get to visit chapters. Our rule is that if you have to miss, if you're sick, if you're feeling ill and you need to come to the office and let us know, we have a team of rerouters that will reroute your schedule because you have to go to every chapter the same amount of time. We treat everybody the same. Parity is our #1 goal. So if that happens, we'll just reschedule and we might be here a little bit later making selections, but we will make it work. So we'll be flexible.